church mother in a church hat clap. Man, that sugar gave her color purple coming back clap. When that whole week beat you up and stress you, but you hear that organ playing and remind you of your blessings. And on another note, she just hit another note. Chills down my spine, got me crying, make me overload. You don't know about it though. Old school church hymns, deacons get the humming, now the drummer finna burst in. Lordy, Lordy, Lord. Can you hear me now? Church close, sweater, you don't care, you just get it now. Testify how we made martyrs out of these fathers and rose up all of his daughters to glorify him with honor. Get the Lord on his feet. I wanna do the type of shows that the Lord wanna see. What I mean, if I can make the whole church clap, it ain't a clap in the heavens, then that clap, just a clap, clap. For his son glorified, sin mortified. The Holy Spirit going word, that truth ain't watered down. It's sound doctrine, keeps birthing and coming out. Nothing wrong with singing loud, but that ain't where the power's down. The church has been clapping at weak sermons, leaving the weak hurt. No one's changed by Sunday service. We need discernment, check what you be affirming, cause the church can be full of members but empty in conversion. Preach the gospel and stand back, look for changed lives, not for hand claps. Love people well, oh they can't stand at the church, just the church with the words, but we stand up. Can't stop, won't stop. Where the brakes at? I give him that ditty bop. Like take that, take that, take that, take that. I'ma put in work. I'ma do that ASAP. Throw my faith in rap, but it say don't say that, huh? What I'ma turn down for? I feel like Shaq in 9-4, breaking glass in that backboard. I like Kobe and Toronto, huh? Dropping 81, yo I dropped the 88. Ricky Bobby, shake and bake, sleeping on it, should've stayed awake, huh? Everybody make mistakes like VJs. Try to say my name is Minio. Say it with me, Minio. Okay, great. 2 forks high, raise stakes. Risk it all, I take the hate. This the winning team. Get the Gatorade. My guy good, but he's not safe. Nah. They try to shut us down and it ain't gon' slide. Only thing I fear is God and he on my side. That's the confidence I got, cause he got me. That's why I really feel like you can't stop me. That's all you got. Opponent, you know me, I know you, we know it. Whenever I fail, you always been there to simply remind me I've blown it. You don't see when I'm growing, you don't see where I'm going. You only see in the moment, you know my mistakes, you never let go it. Don't cease to amaze me, and it drive me crazy. That you catch every detail that I miss in the songs I'm making. Saying you will never write a verse like Kendrick, never be the rapper I got from Hendrix. Top 10 alive, you will never be mentioned. Why aim so high, won't survive the trenches. Plus, you a Christian, Andy, they will never listen, Andy. Plus, we a pigment, Andy. You don't got skill, you a gimmick, Andy. Well, if I listen to you and everything you put in my ear, I'll be living like woulda, shoulda, coulda. I'll be paralyzed by fear. Ain't that the truth? If I quit, the only way I lose. I got 2 choices when I do this: make moves or make excuses. If you know who I'm talking about, then you got me. My biggest enemy is me, and even I can't stop me. They try to shut us down and it ain't gon' slide. Only thing I fear is God and he on my side. That's the confidence I got, cause he got me. That's why I really feel like you can't stop me. stop me, then you'll never stop me, oh no. Can't stop, oh no, won't stop. I said if I cannot stop me, then you'll never stop me, oh no. Can't stop, oh no, won't stop. I said if I cannot stop me, then you'll never stop me, oh no. Can't stop, oh no, won't stop. I said if I cannot stop me, then you'll never stop me, oh no. You can't stop me. That's all you got. Come on with it. That's all you got. You can't stop me. You don't got the power. Shut me down. That's not an option. I'm my biggest problem. You don't got the power. Shut me down. That's not an option.
Check, 1, 2.
Okay, everybody, please get to your seats. Please, please, please. Okay, I have a special prize for someone if you have 11 toes. Who in here has 11 toes? So it's me, Jada, Alyssa. Hayden, you have 11 toes? Oh yeah, I'll Photoshop like a big toe next to my big toe. Wait, what? Oh, put a face on? Whose face? Yes, yes, you should do a face of your dad. Yeah. All right. Has everybody been having a good week so far? Yeah, Riley, how are you doing, man? How was your surgery? Anybody have a bad week? Yeah? What is that? That's pretty cool. Technology has come a long ways. Okay, do we have anybody in here for the first time? First time? What's your name? Timothy? Summer? Timothy and Summer? Welcome, guys. I hope you enjoy your first Wednesday night. Everybody, give them a big welcome. Yeah, hold on. We'll don't worry about that. He said initiation. Don't worry about that. Okay, well, that's usually at the end of the service, so you're fine. All right, well, for those of you who don't know me, well, I think everybody knows me, but my name is Ruben, or country music star on the rise. I still haven't came up with a name. That is not the name. That could be the song. That is not my name, though. The album is just Darn Eyes. Okay. That's not bad. I could live with that. It's not bad. But welcome everybody that is online. You know, I wish you were here so you could have just as much fun as we're having here. But all right. Without further ado, I will pray us in. We'll get started into whatever crazy things the leaders have for us tonight. All right. So, thank you, God, for bringing us all here together once again in your name. Thank you for all the powerful messages that you have been just implementing us over these past few months, and thank you for all these leaders that you have put in front of these young men and women of God, and just thank you for leading them in the right way. And I pray that whatever message that we hear tonight, we just put it in our hearts, and that if we need to hear it and we need to listen to it, I pray that you help us understand it. And I want to thank you for everybody that you have put in this room tonight, and in Jesus' name, amen.
All right, guys. How y'all doing tonight? How y'all doing? I feel a breeze in here tonight. It feels really good. Nah. All right, so we're going to play a game. I need 10 people. 10 people. Let's see. Raise your hand if you want to do it. 10 people. Right there. Right there. These two. That's 4, 5. You guys on this side. All you guys on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, here's what we're going to do. Take the buckets and stack them all the way along the line there. Just one at a time. Single one all the way across the line. All the way across the line. All right, so what you're going to do, you guys are going to work in a team, and you're going to want to be on this side of the cups. This side of the cups. You're going to want to be on this side of the cups. What? Come on. All right, just put it behind it then. Put it behind it. Put them behind it. If you don't have no space, put them behind it. All right, so here's what's happening. Yeah, you got to be on this side of the cups. This side of the cups. On this side of the cups. Y'all ready? All right, so what's going to happen here? You got 3 minutes, okay? 3 minutes. And what we're going to do is once this team gets on this side. Oh, hold on. I forgot something. Take one. Take one. Take one. Take one. There you go. All right, everybody take a bandana. Put it in your back pocket. Put it in your back pocket. Put it in your back pocket. Back pocket. Or right here if you have to. All right, so what you're going to do, once this team gets on this side, they can take that bandana from you. Once they take that bandana from you, you're out for 5 seconds. You got to go back behind the buckets for 5 seconds, okay? Do you get that? You guys get that? If you guys get on this side of this line, this middle line, they take that from you, you're out for 5 seconds. You got to go behind your bucket, stay there for 5 seconds. All right, you got 3 minutes to see how many buckets you can get on your side behind that tape. Behind that tape. Yes, you guys are taking these buckets. You guys are taking these buckets. Without them. Do what? No, not one at a time. Just go. Just go for it. They don't have to do it one at a time. If you want to do it one at a time and strategize that way, you can. If you want to do it one at a time, you can. All right, you guys ready? You got 3 minutes. Let me set the timer here. You got a timer? Okay. Awesome. It started, though. I didn't say start. And go! You can't grab it from them after they're on their side. You cannot grab it from them after they're on their side. Don't throw the buckets. Maybe I should have said one at a time. I see they're stacking. That may be a strategy, but at the same time, if somebody takes that full stack, it's not very good. 2 minutes and 19 seconds. Let's go. I got a lot of buckets. Well, it looks like the buckets transferred to this side. You're out. Go behind your bucket for 5 seconds. If they take it, you have to go behind your buckets for 5 seconds. Somebody lost their bandana. Whose bandana? Whose bandana is this? 1 minute left. Close to 1 minute. I said that quick. You guys gonna count down with me when it gets to 10? When it gets to 10, count down with me. 40 seconds. Twenty seconds. You gotta have them behind your tape. Behind your tape. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. All right, how many of you guys got? Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, this team wins. Good job, guys. All right, Andy, you got some announcements for us tonight? You guys can sit back down. I'll get the cups. Don't worry about them.
Hi, guys. Am I on? Hello? Okay. Can everybody hear me? All right. Thanks, guys. All right. So I've got a lot of announcements tonight. So first of all, we're having summer camp. And I'm going to make Johnny come explain summer camp.
Hello. So, okay, I'm going to explain just a little bit about, we're not going to give you the whole details, but we're doing summer camp here. We're doing our own. We've never done this before. It's going to be way different than you've ever experienced. It's going to be an experience that you're never going to forget. We've got some from West Palm Beach, some of our former students that are going to be coming up. We're going to get to meet them over the next few weeks via video. We've got Greta and we've got Jeremy Owens coming to do worship for us. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be doing something way, way different that we have never done before here. We're going to be doing things that are a little out of the box when it comes to camp. We're going to be going Top Golf. We're going to be going to Summer Ways. We're going to be going bowling. But we're also going to be doing things serving. And we're going to be having some powerful nights of worship and really out-of-the-box experiences creatively getting close to God through some things that they're bringing to us. We want everybody to be able to go on this camp, so the camp is very affordable. Now, the difference between this camp and other camps, we realize this, is that this camp, which is it's a little bit different, is that we're going to meet at 1 o'clock on Monday, and we're going to be here till 10 p.m. Not here, but we're going to go and doing different things. So it's going to resemble a kind of a day camp-ish feel. So we'll be here 1, going to 10. We're going to provide dinner. We're going to go different places. But this is going to be, we've got some pretty cool things up our sleeves with some of our leaders and some of the things we're going to be doing. It's going to be, again, in like a camp you've never, ever experienced. But we're believing this camp is going to be something that's going to change your life. And not just change your life for 3 or 4 weeks, but sustainable change, which is what we want to see. So, again, we want everybody to go. But Andy's going to tell you all the details about that. But I just want to give you a promo. You're going to meet some of the people next week. But camp, we're calling it. This is pretty cool, okay? You're going to have to help me with this. So there's the camp, we're going to call it, you can explain this, okay? Let's see if she can say the name right.
I've worked on it. All right, so this camp has actually got a Greek name. So y'all are about to learn Greek. Ready? All right, so repeat after me, because everybody's got to say it. Aeonian.
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 Not onion, not onion.
It's not onion, it's Aeonian.
Everybody say it again. 1, 2, 3. That's not a cuss word, so you can say it at
really
school.
not.
Promise,
All right.
It's okay.
Are y'all ready to learn what it means?
Yes.
It means eternal and everlasting love. We
Yes.
want your experience to be eternal and everlasting, okay?
Awesome, yeah. So, anyways.
All right, so if you want to go to this, we really want everybody to go, okay? we need you to sign up with me. So after the service, I'm going to be either over here or over here. I need you to come sign up on these sheets of paper, okay? I have one for each age group, high school girls, high school boys, middle school girls, middle school boys. Find your sheet, put your name on it and your grade on it. If I don't have your name and your grade, then you're not going, okay? All right. Secondly is this sheet of paper. It has all of the information that Johnny just told you about plus more. Get it, give it to your parents so that they know what's going on. It has dates for when your money is due, okay? Now, you can make one full payment at the very beginning, but there are dates for when your money is due. April 25th, May 16th, and May 30th, okay? We need your money. Total is $150. All right, and then finally, we have a questionnaire because we want to know what y'all want to talk about here because, I mean, I'm closer to your age than some of the leaders, but I still don't know what y'all want to talk about for sure. So during small group, we're going to give you some of these sheets, okay? It's just topics. If you have more topics, you can tell us, okay? If you have a topic on here that you want to talk about that's not on here, just write it down, give it back to your leader because we want to talk about what's relative to y'all, okay? And then we got a couple more things. So on May 23rd, I think it's May 23rd. Let me check. On May 23rd, we're having a big, huge end-of-the-year bash. Okay? We're going to have water slides, water games. It could be out here. It's going to be on a Sunday from 4 to 7. Yeah, May 23rd. Okay? So Sunday 4 to 7, we'll have food. It'll just be a time to hang out and celebrate the end of the school year going into the summer. And then finally, our last thing, who likes to go to Wild Adventures? All right. Who likes to go to concerts? Who wants to go to Wild Adventures and concerts? All right, guys. Okay, so on June 26th, we're going to go to Wild Adventures and sing for King and Country. We don't have the definite price on that yet, so bear with us, but we're doing it. So that's a Saturday, and I think that's everything I've got. So I'm going to... Oh, yes. In case you need scholarships, you need to come see me or Johnny, okay? If you need help paying for this camp, come see us, and we can figure out how to help you, okay? We have lots of generous people that want to help us out, all right? All right, now, transition. Actually, I'm staying up here. I'm doing the transition. Hi, guys, I'm back. All right, so who was here last week? You were here online. All right, so do y'all remember what we talked about last week? Toxic relationships. So we're doing Toxic Relationships 2.0. And so we really just want to hear your questions. So that's what you're going to do in small group. We're actually going to small group first today. So we're going to break up into our small groups, and we're going to have you actually ask more questions about toxic relationships, things we can answer. We've got a group of people. Some of them are from last week. We've got new people that are going to come join us on the panel. Yeah, we just want to be able to clarify things for y'all. We want to be able to answer your questions specifically on toxic relationships, and we don't just mean boyfriend and girlfriend. We don't just mean friendships. We want boyfriend, girlfriend, friendships, and your family. How do you handle them? How do you deal with them? What's the best way to get through it? What's the best way to realize it's toxic? We want to know them. We want to answer your questions for you, okay? Yeah. So y'all understand? Anybody got any questions? No? All right, so leaders, be in small group for about 15 minutes. Come back at like 7:05 to 7:10. And then don't forget your cards and topic questionnaire. And we got pins somewhere. I don't really know where they are. Okay, yeah, they're right there. Found them. I couldn't see them. All right, so leaders, get that stuff, and high school boys, out the door. Middle school boys, front corner. Middle school girls, other front corner. High school girls, high school girls. If you don't know where to go, find a leader.
Actually, I'll mark up the tape. That way he'll know. Because we really need to take these anyways. Probably a good idea. We like to label things, but we can't label our mics.
it ironic? Don't you think? I'm full of songs tonight. It's like rain. Oh. You're ready.
Look at him.
Free mind.
Kick this over.
So ready.
Hey, where are we going to put you?
Good advice.
I know why you don't like
What?
all the lights.
Who would have thought or figured? Sorry. Isn't it ironic? Woo. That's what I was. That's what I was singing.
I want to sing off against Ruben and Wendy. Yes. Round 3.
Round 3. Ching, ching, ching.
It's like rain.
It's like rain. That was my metalhead version, remember?
Between the three of us, I took it.
Well,
Josh
yeah.
can sit there. I'll sit over here.
Josh can sit where?
Oh, well, it looks like we're
Oh, we're having practice from 6 to 7.
Oh, wow.
Hi, Josh.
Fine.
How are you, Josh?
Hi, how
How are
are
your
you?
glasses?
Better.
Oh.
I need to call an eye doctor.
No, I don't
You need to phone a friend.
want to be up here.
Yes.
Yes.
What is the best eye doctor?
Yo no sé. That was my Espanol for the day. Yo no sé. Espanol.
That was not funny.
Technical difficulties over here.
Johnny,
Chris-
I have PTSD. Don't do that.
I was about to say, do we need a helmet?
It's okay. You could. Hey, Johnny, you could be Ricky right now.
It is on the live stream.
Ricky, what? Huh? Oh. Bad boys, bad boys.
That makes me want to watch the movie.
Picture like Ricky and like such an insight.
That's what I'm gonna watch tonight.
Just picture Ricky like just like the fawns
You guys
driving
didn't-
up in his convertible.
You guys need to do that when he shows up for Thursday night for practice. Play bad boys for him. That's a bad idea, Emma. Don't give him ideas.
Fall asleep.
That's a story. That's a story.
Hey, we're fixing to
You
start.
started that. He fell asleep in line at Legoland and he almost fell.
I'm ready.
All right, are y'all ready?
It was awesome.
Everybody ready? All right. So, as y'all see, we got another stack full of questions. So, I love you guys. We're probably not going to get to all your questions, okay? We could be here all night talking about all these questions. So, I've kind of gone through most of them and picked out some of them that I think are really, really key. Some of them that are doubling up, you know. Some of them we covered last week. All right, so, but we're going to go through that. But first of all, before we do that, one of the questions in here was, what is a toxic relationship? Okay, and we really didn't get really deep into that last week. So I just wanted to share a little bit with you about the things that I found about what a toxic relationship looks like. Okay, so a toxic relationship occurs when one or both people are prioritizing love over the three core components of a healthy relationship: respect, trust, and affection. Now, even when in a relationship that you have with a friend, you're going to be showing some sort of affection to that person, all right? All right, by, you know, the way that you hang out, the way you do things together, okay? Don't get all weird on me when I say affection, all right? So, relationship scorecard. So, what are some of the key ways that you can tell if your relationship is toxic? One is there's a relationship scorecard. This is keeping a score phenomenon when someone you're spending time with in a relationship with continues to blame you for past mistakes. Okay? So they keeping a chart of everything that's going on. Well, you remember when you did this to me, don't you? Right? That kind of thing. All right? Holding the relationship hostage when one person has a simple criticism or complaint and blackmails the other person by threatening the commitment of the relationship as a whole. Okay? So, in other words, this person will, start giving complaints about the way that you're doing. If you don't treat me better, I'm going to leave this relationship. You ought to treat me better because, this relationship matters to me, kind of thing. Okay? Blaming the other person for your feelings. So the person that is the toxic person is saying, I feel this way because of what you did. You're always hurting me. You're always making me depressed. That kind of thing. Okay? And then displaying loving, quote unquote, loving jealousy. And this would be like if a person just gets all bent out of shape because you're texting somebody else, or they don't like the way that you are talking to some other person, or even in a friendship, because you're in a friendship with this person, but you start hanging out with this guy over here, because he's really cool, and you hang out with your other friend too, but that other friend starts getting all jealous over it. Okay, so those are just some key things to look for towards a toxic relationship. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty about your questions, and if I can get rid of my phone. All right, so there's one I wanted to really start with. So that's the one I just answered. If you have a toxic relationship, how do I teach myself how to be healthy if I'm in that toxic relationship? So when you're in a toxic relationship, how do you make yourself healthy? What's the best thing that you can do to make yourself healthy? So who wants to field that question?
I guess my thoughts would be pay attention to who you hang around. Somebody that might invest more wisdom into you, somebody that might help you with that, like if you are in a toxic relationship and they're pulling you down, somebody that might pull you back up. So usually when you're in a form of a toxic relationship, some of them try to keep you segregated from everybody else. Try to make sure you're not segregated from everybody else. So staying in community with people that would help you, to encourage you. It's the idea of having somebody that you look up to, that you might go to help you, to encourage you, and to help you to stay sober-minded. That's a better way to put it. Because I would think, when I think of being toxic, that's so unhealthy, but sober-minded means you're healthy. So trying to stay in contact with people, that would be a big thing right there to help you to, like if you start getting overly angry about something, you have somebody you can go to that would say, okay, I understand the anger, and help you talk you down off a cliff, off of being so angry that you might do something crazy. So just having positive relationships in your life to help you out. That would be my first thought.
I would say stay true to who you are before you got into that relationship, because let's say if you really like somebody, then it's just, we can't help it, but we start picking up some of their own traits. Let's say they have road rage, or they're very short-tempered, and you hang around them so much and you really enjoy that time with them, you start picking up their traits. And if they're the toxic one and that's what makes them toxic, then you're going to be toxic too. So don't be like them. You don't have to be like the person you're in a relationship with, friendship, dating, or whatever. Just be who you are, and just stay away from anything that you feel is toxic.
If you're in a toxic relationship with a guy and you're a girl, dump him. If you're in a toxic relationship with a girl and you're a guy, dump her. If you're in a toxic relationship with someone that you can't dump, like your parents, that's a little bit different. Because some of you have parents that's toxic, it's unhealthy. And that's where I think having what Wendy said, people One thing I would do is declare truths over your life, promises God promises over your life, because the things that I see in when it's parental toxicity, if that's the word, that's toxic, then it's oftentimes degrading. It's oftentimes sometimes manipulative, and I would say speak promises and truth over your life. Worship music helps tremendously, but having a group of people and a place, a safe place, like either a Wednesday evening, a small group people, but a safe haven that you can go to. So if it's a girl that you're in a relationship, like romantically, dump her. I mean, you're like, but that, I might hurt their feelings. She's toxic. If it's a guy, he's toxic. And if your friends are saying they're toxic, you better listen to your friends. They may know a little bit more. And sometimes you're blinded, ladies and gentlemen. You're like, I think they're no. Okay, you might want to get some opinions of other people.
So, sorry.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I would say that jumping on with kind of what everyone else is saying about being healthy in a toxic relationship, I would make sure that you're making sure you're getting healthy validation and affirmation that is outside of that relationship, particularly from that person. Don't look to that person to receive just the healthy affirmation and validation that you need about yourself and who you are. And that kind of goes with what Wendy was saying about not being segregated or isolated away from other healthy relationships, because that's why you need those healthy relationships outside of the toxic relationship. You need to be affirmed. Some of it's you kind of just need to take personal ownership with it's a relationship with the Lord. You need to, so that kind of goes with what Johnny was saying about speaking truths about yourself. Some of that is when you realize who you are and you're comfortable with who you are, you can begin to establish boundaries, and you can identify things in those relationships. And this is with anybody, friends, romantic relationships, family. You can identify things that make you uncomfortable and things that you know maybe are wrong, and you can begin to establish personal boundaries and commit to those things that are a bit more healthy. And you may get pushback from people when you begin to establish those boundaries. That's kind of an identifier when people can't respect your boundaries and say, this is what I need to do that's healthy for me. When they can't respect those boundaries, that's kind of an indicator that that relationship's toxic.
So this is one that I think is really good. What if you realize you're the toxic one? Okay. How do you become healthy? What do you need to do to become healthy when you realize you're the one who's being toxic?
Passing it down to the younger people.
I would honestly probably say realize what you're doing wrong. That's the first step. Kind of making it known what you're doing wrong. Then come up with stuff that will help you do that and ask for help. Because the number one way for you to get over being toxic is to have people that aren't toxic help you. Because then they'll start to influence you to do better things. And then you'll eventually, as time progresses, stop being toxic. And that's all I've got for that. You have something?
For not being toxic, if you realize that you're the toxic one, it's going back and saying that was wrong. It's you gotta just see where you need to be, and maybe it's ending the relationship with the person that was good because you realize that you were hurting them. It's backing off and realizing I need to work on me before I go and have all of this other stuff go on. So I think what you really need to work on is just realizing what's going on with you, looking inward, and saying, all right, God, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. I just need help, and he'll help you. He'll put good people in your life to help you through this. So, yeah.
I think one of the things you have to do before, like, you're just not going to admit you're toxic. Nobody's going to be like, yeah, I'm toxic. Someone's going to say you're toxic, and then you're going to rebuttal that, and you're like, no, I'm not. Nobody's going to ever say, I'm toxic. So one thing I would do prior to, like, almost if you feel like someone's called you out on that, ask some of your close friends. Say, be real with me. Are there unhealthy things that I'm exuding? Are there things that's toxic about? And ask them. And ask them and say, be honest with me. Because sometimes, I don't think you're just going to admit, like, yeah, I'm toxic. I know that. Someone's going to confront you on it, and you're going to go, oh. So I would clarify. I don't mean that because some people would just be mad. Does that make sense? Because some people would say that to you because they're toxic. So don't just assume that. But ask some of the close friends around you, like, is there things about me that are not good that you, and ask them to be real and honest with you, because sometimes they're gonna say something to you and you're like, yeah, well, actually there's some things in your life that you really, and you're like, wow. And then I think just what everybody else said too, but just I was gonna say that earlier, ask people, do you feel like that? Like, am I toxic? If you feel that, just ask people. And I think it's good to ask people even if you don't even, just to make sure. Ask people that you trust.
Yeah, that was a good question. I was just going to say along the same lines with Johnny was that, people throw around that word so flippantly. People call people toxic all the time when they're really not toxic. And he's right when they're saying sometimes they're the toxic one, or maybe they're just using that word because that is like the new slang. Does that make sense? It's the new thing to say, so they just start, oh, well, if I don't like what you're doing or I don't like what you're saying, apparently you're toxic. And that's not meaning the true definition of toxic. So you've got to really, I think that's wise with go to friends, go to people. Sometimes you can evaluate yourself. You can look back and you say, okay, what kind of shrapnel have I put off around me? Are there people that are injured because of the words that I've said around me? And am I causing all these injuries? If you know that, then maybe you are a little toxic. And most of the time, where's the toxic coming from? Your mouth. And it's the words that are coming out of your mouth, and you're destroying other people. So maybe you need to hold your tongue and keep yourself accountable to what you're saying. So.
And I'll just throw this out here.
Chelsea's got something out there too.
Okay, let me just throw this out there to you guys too for a moment. If you starting to realize that you really are the toxic one, okay? Not because somebody's told you, but just because you're starting to see it, right? Most of the time when a person is toxic, it's because they have unhealed hurt inside of them, okay? And the only way, kind of like what Andy was saying about, breaking off the relationship for a while and working on you, it's all about you getting to a place where you can heal so that you won't hurt people anymore. Now, the old adage says that hurt people, but healed people heal people. And until you do get healed, until you do get healthy yourself, then chances are pretty good you're going to keep on hurting people, okay? So you've got to heal, and you've got to give yourself time to heal. But you also have to recognize where that hurt came from, all right? It's very important that you know where that hurt came from, all right?
I have a prompt from the crowd. That one step to doing it, and it's very true, is saying, I'm sorry. And meaning it, truly meaning that you're sorry, not just saying it flippantly, like, I'm sorry, but like really like, I really am sorry. And one thing that I learned from Andy Stanley is you don't just say, I'm sorry. You say, I'm sorry because I did this, that, and the other. What can I do for you? Changes everything. So, Chelsea. Come on. I'm not done. I'm not doing this food.
Knowing from, in our relationship with me and Justin that I've had those moments and I've been that toxic person. And if I could tell younger Chelsea 7 years ago, give yourself grace, because that was the one thing I failed at so miserably, was giving myself grace and thinking that I'll never be able to get out of this. I'll never stop being this toxic person. But I've seen over time, and I mean, it takes time. It really does. And you do have to humble yourself, like they say, and you do have to seek out. But give yourself grace.
I'm looking for one. There was one in here that I thought was really good.
Can I say something while you're looking? Yeah. So I would just like to add in that oftentimes self-evaluation's really hard. If I could point it to Scripture, it's the fruit of the Spirit. If you read them, I'm probably not going to remember all of them, but it's love, joy, peace. Yeah, that's it.
We had a dance.
And so like it lists what those are, and it lists what the works of the flesh are, which is kind of that's the battle. Like our flesh is wanting to be those things and are selfish, and the fruit of the Spirit brings those other things out of us. So I would really just spend time asking the Lord, are these things coming out in the way that I'm speaking, the way that I'm treating the people in my life, or is it these other things? And just really be honest and let him highlight those things to you, because he will if you ask. And that's a good place to start when you're trying to evaluate, are there toxic things in my relationships? And
So last question, really quick, is do toxic relationships get better? Can they get better? Is it possible for a toxic relationship to get better?
Yes. I mean, that's the easy, straightforward. It can, but it's dealing with people. So the question is the toxic person going to get better or not? Yes, toxic relationships can get better, but it all is determined on if the person that is the toxic person, if they realize they're toxic, and if they're going to change. That's where it all falls on. It's not like suddenly it just disappears. No. That person, there has to be a transition in them for them to realize that they're toxic, so it can get better. But without that, it's not going to get better. So you either get ran over by the person usually, or because you end up becoming overly submissive, different things that can cause you to just feel like you're inadequate or whatever. And so then you're just getting trampled on. That's not good either. So then it's still toxic. So it is just realizing that person that that is causing the toxicity, or maybe I'm not going to say all of them get better, because sometimes both people are toxic for each other. So can it? Yes. Will they all? No. Will some of them need to be ended? Absolutely. Some of them you realize, like some of you might have family members that you realize that it's a toxic relationship with maybe a parent or a grandparent or whatever. As you get older, you get the opportunity to place your boundaries in your relationship with them and to protect yourself from being injured anymore. And so that's where those boundaries come in. So and maybe one day the parent or whoever they are will understand what they've done, or maybe they'll come to that realization, but maybe not. And maybe that's just how it is, and it's hard. That's very hard. But it's just saying, so yes and no. That's the answer to that one, yes and no. I don't know, that's hard to answer.
The question lends itself to two things. Either you're in a relationship with someone right now, a boyfriend or girlfriend, that is toxic, but you really like that girl, you really like that boy, and you're hoping that it's going to get better. If you're in a relationship that you're hoping it's going to get better, could it get better? Yes. But I would say if you're in a relationship with somebody that's toxic, you need to break up, like I said earlier, and God can change that person. Now, so if that's the question, if you were with that question and that's where you're at, I would say, yes, it can, but don't. I used to think, save them, then date. Date them, then save them. Like, I want to date them because they're cute, and then God can save them. That's not how God works, right? So if it's toxic and you hope it's going to get better, you need to break up and let God do what God can do in their life, God does in your life, and then see what happens. Now, if your relationship with, it's like she was saying, mom and dad, can it get better? Yes. And I would lean on the side of just praying for that mom, praying for that relationship. That's all you can do, and hope and believe that God's going to do what he can do. But so can it, and does it always? No. But if you're in a relationship currently right now and you're saying, can it get better? You want us to say, yeah, it's going to get, no, I would say break up, let that person heal, and if God wants you to get together, it'll happen.
I think it can be a trick question sometimes, because you could be in and out of it, and it's like, I really want this person to be better. I really want this relationship to be better. But something I've noticed is that change, like real change, usually comes out of the relationship. It doesn't really come in the relationship. And I know that's not true for every single relationship out there, but most of the time it comes out of the relationship. So say the person's toxic, and so you start taking space, you start setting boundaries, setting walls and whatnot, kind of distancing yourself from them, because you might think that's the only way that they can change. But some people, you just got to accept that they don't want to change, or they're not going to change. And yes, God can change everybody. But if you, like Pastor Johnny said, if you break up with that person, or you just kind of distance yourself from like a parental relationship or like a friend relationship, time goes on, like the best thing you can do is to not get into a relationship, but just spend time with God and find out more about who you are in him. And he will show you, and he will give you a sense of freedom to where relationships are fine and all, but you won't be defined by your relationship, because relationships, they can bring us a lot of comfort, especially your friends, but you're not defined by relationships. So if you, let go of a relationship, give it a few months, you might not even want to be back into that same relationship with that person, and that's okay, because it's fine. You don't have to be in that certain relationship just because your feelings. I think it's Jeremiah, but your heart can be really deceiving. So whenever you make decisions, don't make them based off feelings, because if you do, those feelings come and go. So whenever they go, you're gonna be like, man, why did I do that? But if you do it with your head and you actually think about it first, and then you make your decision, you won't maybe feel regretful, like, because you actually thought about it. So.
So for me, when I think of that, I think of, yes, toxic relationships can get better, but the toxic person has to go through all of what they just said. And then on your end, if you're not the toxic person, you also have to work. You have to give that person grace. You have all the hurt that you've been feeling, you can't hold that against them. You can't just sit there and be like, well, you're getting better, but I'm still going to hold a grudge against you. Okay? Whether it's a friendship, boyfriend, girlfriend, or family, if you see them changing, you can't hold it against them. You have to have that grace on your end to be able to help them work through what they're working through.
I feel like a lot of it, too, has to do with self-image. And what I mean by that is how other people think of you. When in reality, it does not matter what other people think about you. All that matters is how God thinks of you, because in the end, we all want to go to his kingdom. And you don't want to let other people define what you think about you, because then you're killing yourself at that point. Because then you get caught up in all these worldly possessions and stuff, clothing and all that, and then you get tied up in the world, when in reality your main focus should be on God.
I would just like to kind of throw some real life examples of kind of how the relationships can get better, and they also don't always necessarily do, but it's okay. You know, when my wife and I first started dating, we were not ready to date each other. And I know it sounds extreme when Johnny says you should break up if it's not a good, if it's not a good arrangement. But honestly, that's what we had to do. And everything that he was saying is true. You can't change the other person, but you can let God do what he's going to do. And meanwhile, you have to allow God to do what he wants to do in your life. And if that relationship's meant to be in a healthy place, then the things are going to line up for that to happen. So needless to say, you know, we did end up getting back together. We ended up getting married. But there are things that we had to work on even after getting married because of our different upbringing and having different home environments. So I say that just to, I really feel like it's important to emphasize this. When you are in a toxic relationship, it's not necessarily that because you are a bad person. It's not because the person that you are in a relationship with is a bad person. There are things, there's pain and there's issues that need healing. And when we're healing, we don't always know how to treat one another. But when you're in a marriage, you can't really walk away from it like you can a friendship. And it's really important to look at that person and remind yourself, this is not my enemy. We just have things that we need to work on.
Y'all give these guys a hand. We're going to start getting ready to move into some worship for a little while. But there's one other question that I think just needs to be answered. That is, when you come out of the relationship, how do you heal? You've been hurt. What do you do to heal when you're coming out of that relationship? Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, you need to talk to somebody. Now, I'm not saying you got to go to a counselor or you got to be seen by a shrink, you know. I'm not saying that. But you need to talk to somebody. Talk to your small group leader. Talk to Pastor Johnny and Pastor Wendy. Talk to Pastor Justin. You know, talk to any one of us leaders that are in here. We're here for that reason. And if we feel like you need more, then we'll help you get more. Okay? That's number one. Number two is you got to get yourself right with God. Because you're never going to fully heal until you're in a right relationship with the one who created you. You're always going to have a part of you that is not whole. There's always going to be a part of you that is still longing and needing something more. And I tell you this from experience. When I wasn't right with God, I tried to fill that with all other kinds of things in my life. And I got hurt. And I hurt others. You've got to be in a right relationship with Jesus for your true healing to happen. So tonight as we worship, I want this to be a time where you get face to face with the God who created you, the one who knit you in your mother's womb, the one who does not make junk, the one who has never made a mistake. And you are not a mistake. I want you to get face to face the one true God who loves you and vows to never hurt you. So will you stand to your feet? So Lord, we come, all of our hurts, all of our pain, all of our distrust, all of our fear. Lord, tonight we lay it at your feet. We just ask you, Father, will you come and heal us? Heal us from these toxic relationships. Heal us from all these things that are hurting us inside. And let us look into your eyes, your loving, precious eyes, and remind us how much we are loved by you. In Jesus' name. As always, I'll be over here to the left. If you feel like you have a word from the Lord, come talk to me about it. We'll see if we need to open it up.
Yeah, as we get ready to worship, I just feel like I heard the Lord say this. Someone just needs to hear that. Whatever it is you're wanting Him to do or work on in your life, if you just put your gaze on Him and take your gaze off of whatever that thing is, just give Him your full attention and put Him on the throne of your heart. He'll work on that thing, but He wants your full attention first. So I don't know what that's supposed to look like for you, but just let's just focus on Him and His goodness and His love as we get ready to worship.
Song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, the name above every other. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Deity of every breath we could ever breathe, we live for you.
Sing Jesus one more time.
Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe, we live for you. Oh, we live for you. There is no one like you, there is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder, show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Holy, there is no one like you, there is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder, show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be shaken. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Eyes in wonder, show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. I will put my trust in you alone, and never gonna let me down. You're never gonna let me down. Never gonna let me down.
You're never gonna let me down. You're never gonna let me down. You're never gonna let me down. You're never gonna let me down.
You're good. You are
good. You're good. Oh, keep it going. You are good. You're good. Oh, you are good. So good. So good. Oh, so you're never gonna let. You're never gonna let me down. You're never gonna
Declare it.
never gonna let me down. You're never gonna let me down. You're never gonna let me down.
All right, guys, so it is after 8 o'clock. If you have to leave, your rides are here. We understand that. We're cool with that. You can make your way out the door, but we are going to play another song. If you would like to join us, if you don't have anywhere to be, then, feel more than free to stay here. Before we do get into this song, I do have a word for you guys. So I'm just going to let you know that I'm tired. I don't mean sleep tired, and I don't mean, well, kind of physically tired, but I'm just tired of listening to these voices, to these like poisonous things in my head, like fear and doubt and all this stuff that we talk about. And it got me realize that this atmosphere has kind of changed since winter retreat. And I know how we got hyped up, but then a lot of us didn't expect it, but we got hit with life. And you really can't escape life, but another thing you can't escape is God's reckless love. And so whenever I think fear is trying to control me and take a hold of me, I realize that fear is not the one that died on the cross. So why would I listen to that if all it wants to do is just push me down into the ground? So you might feel too far. You might feel like you just messed up since winter retreat. Try again next year. You don't gotta wait till next year. You don't gotta wait till you get home. You can start today. You can get on your knees. You can go wherever in your car. You can start right now. This is not something that you have to start on a Sunday or on a Wednesday. You can start your walk with God right now. Stop pushing it off. If you want to push it off, if you're comfortable with where you are, then okay. And that kind of hurts me to hear that, because God has so much more for you than whatever pleasures that we're all chasing right now. But if you just give God the chance and give him the opportunity, he will show you how powerful he is. But not only that, he will show you that he is bigger than whatever challenges are in your life right now.
fails me. And all my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. And all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am made, I will sing of the goodness of God. You have led me through the fires and darkest nights. You are close like no other. I've known you as a father. I've known you as a friend. And I in the goodness of God. And all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am made, I will sing of the goodness of God. Hear this. 'Cause your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. God's goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. And all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. And all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of
Stuff. Wow, you guys rock. God rocks. So, say, hey, before you guys go, remember, Andy's going to be right up here. If you want to go on do the youth camp with us, this doesn't mean like, don't think, so if I sign, I have to go. This is if you're interested and you want to go, okay? So make sure you sign up here, get the information. She's got it there as well. And if you guys can help us kind of set some stuff back up, we got to move the baptistry back and hang out with us. We love you guys. It's going to be an awesome, awesome rest of the week. Hold on, Justin needs to say a few things real quick too. But don't forget, this is important. We want to make sure we get you guys ready for camp.
I just wanted to close out with some scripture that goes along right with what Ruben was saying. So this is from Lamentations 3. Lamentations was written by Jeremiah, who is also known as the weeping prophet. He prophesied for so long about the destruction of Jerusalem that it was coming because the people's sin. And then it came, and he lamented. And so I want to finish out with Lamentations 3, verses 19, starting there. The thought of my suffering and homelessness is bitter beyond words. I will never forget this awful time as I grieve over my loss. Yet I still dare to hope when I remember this. The faithful love of the Lord never ends. His mercies never cease. Great is his faithfulness. His mercies begin afresh each morning. I say to myself, the Lord is my inheritance. Therefore I will hope in him. The Lord is good to those who depend on him, to those who search for him. So it is good to wait quietly for salvation from the Lord. And it is good for people to submit at an early age to the yoke of his discipline. Let them sit alone in silence beneath the Lord's demands. So, there we go. His mercies are fresh every morning.
Count to 3 and say a prayer. Down for love and up for air. Underwater overjoyed. Water for a thirsty soul. Water for a thirsty soul. Baptize me into your love. Oh, my spirit's overcome. Body, mind, and skin and bone. Love, I'm gonna make it known. Love, I'm gonna make it known. Yeah, I'm coming alive with you. I'm coming alive with you. I was living a lie till you. I'm coming alive with you. All the people say, Resurrection day is here. Bells are ringing loud and clear. Caterpillar to a butterfly. Listen to another life. Listen to another life. Yeah, I'm coming alive with you. I'm coming alive with you. I was living a lie till you. I'm coming alive with you. All the people say, all the people say, from death to life, from dark to light. I'm singing out tonight. You're in my blood, my veins, in every word I pray. You gave it all for me. I'll give it all for you. Oh, I'm in love with you, overwhelmed by you. And if the world is listening, this is my confession. You are my obsession. All the people say, all the people say,
yard with a hammock in the shade. I don't know if you got some shelter, say a place to hide. I don't know if you live with friends and who you can confide. I don't know if you got a family, say a mom or dad. I don't know if you feel love at all, but I bet you wish you had. Come and go with me to my father's house. Come and go with me to my father's house. It's a big, big house with lots and lots of room. A big, big table with lots and lots of food. A big, big yard where we can play football. A big, big house. It's my father's house. All I know is a big old house with rooms for everyone. All I know is lots of land where we can play and run. All I know is that you need love, and I've got a family. All I know is you're all alone, so why not come with me? Come and go with me to my father's house. Come and go with me to my father's house. It's a big, big house with lots and lots of room. A big, big table with lots and lots of food. A big, big yard where we can play football. A big, big house. It's my father's house. A big, big house with lots and lots of room. A big, big table with lots and lots of food. A big, big yard where we can play football. A big, big house. It's my father's house. My father's house. Come and go with me to my father's house. Come and go with me to my father's house. It's a big, big house with lots and lots of room. A big, big table with lots and lots of food. A big, big yard where we can play football. A big, big house. It's my father's house. A big, big house with lots and lots of room. A big, big table with lots and lots of food. A big, big yard where we can play football. A big, big house. It's my father's house. Your home. I don't know where you eat your meals or where you talk on the phone. I don't know if you got a cook, a butler, or a maid. I don't know if you got a yard with a hammock in the shade. I don't know if you got some shelter, say a place to hide. I don't know if you live with friends and who you can confide. I don't know if you got a family, say a mom or dad. I don't know if you feel love at all, but I bet you wish you had. Come and go with me to my father's house. Come and go with me to my father's house. It's a big, big house with lots and lots of room. A big, big table with lots and lots of food. A big, big yard where we can play football. A big, big house. It's my father's house. All I know is a big old house with rooms for everyone. All I know is lots of land where we can play and run. All I know is that you need love, and I've got a family. All I know is you're all alone, so why not come with me? Come and go with me to my father's house. Come go with me to my Father's house. Come and go with me to my Father's house. It's a big, big house with lots and lots of room. A big, big table with lots and lots of food. A big, big yard where we can play football. A big, big house. It's my Father's house. A big, big house with lots and lots of room. A big, big table with lots and lots of food. A big, big yard where we can play football. A big, big house. It's my Father's house.
Tell me what it's all for. When you get what you want and you still want more. In the end, you know that life's the reward. So baby, worry less. And celebrate more. Celebrate, yeah, celebrate more. Celebrate, celebrate more, ayy. Celebrate, celebrate more, ayy. Celebrate, celebrate more, ayy. Yeah. Top in the morning to you from the other side, and yeah. I've been to hell and back, I could've swore I died, and yeah. Dodging depression, looking for a message. Facing my fears, I'm hoping for a blessing.
Cause our God is risen and reigning, and we're elevating the glory of our God and King. So everybody rise and sing. From the front to the back, hands up.
If you're alive and you've been redeemed, rise and sing, rise and sing. If you've been touched by the mercy King, rise and sing, rise and sing, sing. Whoa, if you were bound but now you're free, rise and sing, rise and sing. Lift up a shout of victory, rise and sing, rise and sing, sing. Come on, 'cause our God is risen and reigning, and we're elevating the glory of our God and King. So everybody rise and sing. If in your heart rings a melody, rise and sing, rise and sing. If you have tasted and you have seen, rise and sing, rise and sing. Sing, He's risen, 'cause our God